Hello, investors and traders, and welcome to the Midweek Report. I'm AJ Monte, Chief Technical Analyst with Sticky Trades, and we're coming into the final minutes of today's trading session with DIA down slightly. And as you see here from this daily candle chart, we are battling to see whether or not we're going to close above or below that 20-period moving average. And right now, with under 3.5 minutes to go, it looks as though the sellers are still in control. You take a look at the minute-by-minute chart, we had a massive sell-off right here, right around 3:15, that looked like computer selling coming in. And then we had what looked to be, right after that, a short covering rally. Now, again, as we're coming into the close, the selling pressure is still on. Going back to that daily chart, just want to show you that we did hit my downside target from last week right there at 391.51. And if we close below that 20-period moving average, even with that gap above the market, we could make a move down to that former target at 384.72. I'm not going to put any target lines right now. We'll save that for Friday, but that's the way DIA looks as we stand right now in the final minutes here. Looking at IWM, interesting, it's very different. We have a bullish engulfing here on IWM. If that holds, we could see a rally up to fill the gap and then right back down as we reverse from that gap fill resistance. Now, if you've been following along with my weekly market report, you'll know that we have a change in the format. I go through the geopolitical and economic news before the market closes. We start to look at the final minutes as the markets are closing to give you some insight as to what we could see the following morning on the opening, or the following Monday if it's a weekly market report. And then I get into some educational content. Last week we talked about role reversal. This coming Friday, stay tuned. We're going to talk about gaps and how to properly use them as trading targets, entry points, and using risk management techniques for trading gaps. So again, for IWM, if we close here, again, minute and a half to go, if we close with a bullish engulfing, then we could see a rally up to fill that gap, and then watch out below. Looking at the Qs, which is more or less the tech sector, we have a close slightly above. It looks like just pennies above that 20-period moving average. But look, the gap has already filled on the Qs. So with that drop in volume and this long shadow, I think the markets are going to be a little mixed up with the Dow going one way, IWM going the other, and possibly the Qs going right back down. But for the Qs, I'm keeping my longest term downside target, not moving at all, at 429.91. That is for the Qs. Looking at SPY, this is the S&P 500 ETF. We have 20 seconds left, a close above that moving average. I think for the end of the week, we'll see a complete gap fill there. And then later, Thursday or Friday, we might see a downturn. So the downside target for SPY is 514.48. And look down below here, stochastic still heading lower. And that is the close for today, Wednesday, April 3rd. Finally, looking at the VIX, what do we have? Very close to hitting my upside target, but we have a red candle. Might see a little bit of a drop on the VIX. We'll see whether or not that 20-period moving average holds as a role reversal support, but we have to absolutely pay attention to this gap below the market, because a lot of times that gap will fill, and especially on the VIX. And so if the VIX pulls back, that could mean a little bit of a rally for the end of the week into SPY. And we already looked at that as a possible bounce off of that 20-period moving average. Now, again, thank you so much for following and subscribing and liking and commenting on our YouTube page. We have reached the 10,000 subscriber mark right there. We're over 10,000 subscribers. Thank you so much. Now, watch us grow. 10,000 is a magic number. It's going to allow us to get a lot more exposure on YouTube. And thanks to your sending this out to friends and family and liking and commenting and doing all that good stuff. It throws us into the algorithm and really helps the channel grow. So again, stay tuned. On Friday, again, as I mentioned, last week we talked about how to identify role reversal. I want to add more value to these videos, so stay tuned on Friday. There's a lot more coming down the road. So take care. I'll talk to you on Friday. Bye-bye.